Hello again, fine music fans. This is episode 230. 230 episodes. Where has the time gone? Well, if you were watching 229, you learned about two artists you may have never heard about before, and we're all ashamed that we didn't know. I bet Murray's got somebody too.
Oh, yeah, I sure do.
Go ahead, sir.
So today I'm going to talk about the Contortions. I'm revisiting once again the post-punk scene in New York City around 1979, 1980. And we're going to start with, let me see if I can get this right, this album.
Wow.
No, New York. I was going to, okay, well, I didn't really, okay, well, anyway. So No New York was produced by Brian Eno. It was the forerunner of the so-called no wave music, which was very, very noisy, jazz oriented. No New York contained four bands: the Contortions, Teenage Jesus and the Jerks, with the lead singer of Lydia Lunch, who you may have heard of. She's done spoken word stuff as well. And then a couple of bands that kind of faded away, Mars and DNA. But it seems like the Contortions were the real stars of the show. I don't know, they certainly grabbed my attention when I first heard the album. And they were led by James Chance, who played saxophone and did lead vocals, and was kind of a cross between James Brown, Iggy Pop, and Ornette Coleman. Yeah, pretty noisy sax playing, but a really funky rhythm section that he played with. He was really into James Brown and the Black movement. And he did, especially in the early days, pick fights with his audience. The story I heard was that he came into New York to be a jazz musician because he was a sax player, but between his attitude and the way he played sax, the New York jazz musicians rejected him. And so he took up with the punks, moved over and got into this no wave band thing. So then we'll move on to, share screen again. We want this one. Oh. Yeah, let's see my app. Okay, let's try that again. Where are we at? Okay, well, so the first Contortions album is this, by Contortions. The closest thing to a hit they had was called Contort Yourself, kind of a dance tune in a way. Again, very freeform, jazzy. The original Contortions had some musicians who went on to their own career, most notably Pat Place, who formed a band called the Bush Tetras. But this is their first album. And then we're gonna stop sharing that one and go back to the other one, the next one, which is, the story is, no, this one. Yeah, no, let's get, come on, there we go. That his record company thought that it'd be fun if he produced a disco album.
Oh my.
This is his disco album. Same band, but now they're James White and the Blacks. They do a different version of Contort Yourself. They do, and now I'm blanking. I don't remember I think it's Cole Porter, but it might be Gershwin's song called Tropical Heat Wave. And then they do several songs about the interaction of white people playing black music, which was a definite interest of Chance's. Very interesting album, more listenable than by the Contortions, but still pretty abrasive and confrontational music. Then that band broke up, and he formed a new band of Contortions, which basically there's a funk band called Defunct, Defunkt, run by Joseph Bowie, trombone player who is the brother of Lester Bowie, who's a fairly well-known jazz musician. It was an all-black band, and they got even funkier, but still the same sort of. I mean, they still had James Chance being aggressive and playing, squawking saxophone. I did see them. I will refer to my extensive database of every concert I've ever been to.
Hey, wow.
Actually, it's of nationally known bands. I've been trying to keep track of all the local bands I've seen would be way beyond my capability, but I have nationally known bands. And just while we're talking about it, there are currently, oh, wow, look at that. Exactly 200 concerts featuring nationally known bands that I've seen.
Let's do the math.
The Contortions with Defunct on January 28th, 1980 at Max's Kansas City. And then the Contortions with the Flaming Demonics on January 29th at Max's Kansas City. This kind of raises the question about whether I've seen the Contortions twice or 3 times or 5 times, because the Defunct show, the Defunct band played as the opening act, and then James Chance came out and played with them as the Contortions. The Flaming Demonics were all instrumental, Defunct with Chance on saxophone opening, and then they do a set as the Contortions with him singing. And my friends and I enjoyed that so much, and the people at Max's Kansas City let us stay for the second show. So you could say, like I say, that I saw them 5 times, twice as the Flaming Demonics and 3 times as the Contortions, but maybe I just saw them twice, 2 different shows. So very, very entertaining shows, but again, kind of abrasive. He wasn't really picking fights with people, but he was burning dollar bills on stage and things like that. So they then pretty much broke up, even though he reformed them in the 2000s and played the All Tomorrow's Party Festival at Queen Mary. So I then saw him either 3rd, 4th, or 6th time. And that was the original lineup, as best possible. So if you want, if you want funk music meets punk meets freeform jazz, definitely check out the Contortions. And if that sounds too much for you, well,
no.
then don't.
I'm not contorted. That's really fascinating on many levels, right? Putting together a database is a brilliant idea because some things can be lost in memory.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think I started putting it together, I don't know, I started when I really got a good database on my computer, based software. And there are actually several shows that I don't remember what dates they are. And somehow I have extensive journals and I have ticket stubs, because like I saw a Rush show at the LA Sports Arena, and all I can say, it was probably around 92 or 93, but that's all I can say about that.
There is a database for that on the internet. You can look up shows.
Look that one up. Yeah,
if you really need to.
I mean, but
Clockwork Angels tour
I
sounds
had
like
the info, and so I've got the date, everyone that was on the bill, the venue, the city.
Yeah. And of course, the set list.
Yeah, oh, no, don't
No,
have.
no. No, but
Uh,
they're out there. It's amazing
they
what's
are
out
out
there.
there. Yes.
Yeah.
There was
All
a time
right.
when I first was going to concerts in high school when that was really important to me. What was the set list? What songs did they play? What order they play in? And then
Mhm.
that seemed too much to keep track of in my mind.
It is a lot. It is a lot. I mean, especially when you can go online, just find out from somebody else that was there.
Yeah,
So much easier. So really, to start off on the contortions, you're recommending by.
uh, Well, no, I'm actually
No.
recommending if you want to ease into them, start with James White and the Blacks
Okay.
because it's the most listenable. If you
Mhm.
like that, get by Contortions, and if you like that, go seek out the No New York compilation if you can find it.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a collector's item, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
rare. I mean, it has been reissued on CD, but I don't know.
Hmm.
You know, I
By
don't think
any
something.
chance, did you ever see another saxophone-led band called Morphine?
I have not seen them. I've heard, certainly listened to them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's another story for another episode.
Yep.
All right. But thank you, Murray. Thank you. Another avenue in music land, people. Follow it.